Let's be honest, modern businesses are incredibly complex. It can feel like chaos sometimes. So today, we're going to cut through all that noise with a really powerful framework from the DVMS Institute. It's designed to bring some much-needed clarity. Let's dive in. You've probably seen this before, right? A company sinks millions into the latest and greatest tech, brand new cloud platforms, shiny AI tools, but the big revolution they were promised just never really happens. The results are kind of underwhelming, and everyone's left scratching their heads, wondering, what went wrong? It's a super common frustration, but the reason why might not be what you think. And here's the crucial point. The problem isn't that we lack powerful tools. We have amazing tech at our fingertips. The real issue is that these tools are often living on their own separate islands. Different parts of the business are working in silos, and that creates inefficiency, confusion, a kind of digital chaos, really. So, before we jump into the solution, we really need to get a handle on the problem itself. Let's take a closer look at what this digital chaos actually looks and feels like inside a real organization. Does any of this sound familiar? You've got workflows that are totally different from team to team. Maybe your multi-cloud setup is this tangled web that's a nightmare to manage and secure. You hear about these exciting AI projects, but they're stuck over in some lab, completely disconnected from the actual business. And the rules, the governance, it feels like it's always one step behind. All of this just boils down to a massive lack of visibility and ultimately a lack of control. All right, so how do we fix this? How do we fight back against all this fragmentation? Well, the DVMS Institute lays out a blueprint, a foundational model for building a digital enterprise that actually works as one cohesive unit. And it's all built on 4 essential pillars. Let's check them out. Here they are: cloud infrastructure, digital workflows, artificial intelligence, and governing assurance. Now, the key thing to get here is that these aren't just 4 separate things to check off a list. They're designed to be a complete system, where each one supports and boosts the others. Let's break down how they fit together. First step is the cloud. I want you to think of this as the foundation of your building, the land you're building on, and the steel backbone that holds everything up. It's that scalable, flexible infrastructure that things like AI and automation absolutely need to function and grow. Next, we've got digital workflows. So if the cloud is the structure, the workflows are the engine room. They're the plumbing, the wiring, the elevators, all the systems that actually make the building functional. This is how you make sure a brilliant insight from an AI doesn't just die on a dashboard, but actually triggers a real-world action. The third pillar is artificial intelligence. This is the building's brain. AI is that intelligence layer that's constantly analyzing all the data flowing through your cloud infrastructure. It's what allows the whole company to shift from just reacting to problems to actually getting ahead of them, to being proactive. And finally, but so important, we have governing assurance. This is your oversight system. Think of it as the building codes, the 24/7 security system, and the continuous safety inspections. It makes sure that everything, your cloud, your workflows, your AI, is running effectively, safely, and is actually helping you meet your business goals. It's what creates trust in the whole operation. Now, here's where it all clicks. What's so interesting about this model is that just having these 4 pillars isn't actually enough. You can have the best cloud foundation and the smartest AI, but if they're not talking to each other, you've still got chaos. Their real power, their true value, only comes out when they are fully integrated. And this just lays it out so perfectly. Look at the difference. On the left, you have the siloed approach, which just leads to fragmentation, inefficiency, and constantly putting out fires. But when you integrate the pillars, you get something completely different. You get a cohesive system that drives real performance, lets you be proactive, and finally brings some clarity to all that complexity. It's a total game changer. And there's a name for this integrated approach. The DVMS Institute calls it a Digital Value Management System, or DVMS for short. It's that unifying layer that connects everything together. It's what makes sure your big picture strategy is actually connected to your day-to-day operations, and you can prove it with real results. So what's the big payoff? Why go through the effort of building this unified system? Let's talk about the tangible, real-world benefits an organization gets when it finally brings these 4 pillars together. It really all boils down to 3 core outcomes. A unified system makes your entire company more resilient and adaptable. It drives actual performance and creates real value. And it establishes crystal clear transparency and accountability for everyone. Let's start with resilience. I mean, we live in a pretty uncertain world, right? This is all about creating a system that can see what's coming and adapt on the fly. It's like a chain reaction. Your AI might predict a supply chain issue, the automated workflows instantly kick in to reroute orders, and your cloud infrastructure scales up or down to handle the change without a hitch. That is what true resilience looks like.
Next up, performance. This is where the rubber really meets the road. By integrating these pillars, you create a direct line from a data insight all the way to a measurable business outcome. You can streamline how you work, cut down on waste, and really, truly maximize the return on all your tech investments. And finally, transparency and accountability. When your systems are actually connected, you get this amazing, clear line of sight into how everything is working. It answers those critical questions. What is actually happening? And maybe more importantly, who is responsible? This is absolutely essential for good governance and for building trust with everyone, from your employees to your customers. All right, we've covered the problem of digital chaos, we've walked through the four-pillar solution, and we've talked about the incredible benefits of integration. Now for the final step, let's turn this lens back on you. So here's the one big question I want to leave you with. When you look at your own organization, what do you see? Do you see 4 separate pillars, all working independently, maybe even competing with each other? Or do you see a single, cohesive system that's working together to create, protect, and deliver value? The answer to that question just might be the key to unlocking your company's entire digital future.